For Design Activity 4, I decided to take a look at examining the current findings for trends, challenges, and developments over a short-term time of 1 year or less. And although the short-term trends don't typically have a lot of concrete evidence to prove that online learning is a reasonable alternative to some forms of face-to-face learning, one of the short-term trends that are hot right now is the increase of blended learning. And the Babson Research Group stated that 7.1 million American students are engaged in online learning of some form. And it seems that the combination of online and face-to-face instruction is being explored by many higher education institutions. And for example, the University of Central Florida studied blended courses and found that they are most successful. Students who participate in this type of learning stated that they feel that their instructors were more accessible when learning materials and discussion forums were placed online. Another short-term trend that is being explored is redesigning learning spaces. And more universities are helping to encourage new spaces for teaching and learning in order to accommodate more active learning. And universities are creating smart rooms that are similar to our very own Krause Innovation Studio in the Chambers building so that students can use large displays and screens that enable collaboration on digital projects and informal presentations. It seems to be a common trend that university classrooms are starting to resemble real-world work and social environments as well, and that will encourage interactions and cross-disciplinary problem solving during learning. In addition to the common short-term adoption trends that exist, there are also different challenges that have presented roadblocks for advancing teaching and learning in this 21st century. The challenges for short-term teaching and learning are very solvable. And first of all, one solvable challenge that exists is blending formal and informal learning experiences. Since the internet has provided us with information at the mere click of a button, there is an increase in the kinds of self-directed, curiosity-based learning that has typically been common in museums and science centers and those types of environments. By blending informal learning and formal learning and methods of learning together, students will be more engaged because they are encouraged to follow their own they're encouraged to follow their own learning pathways and their own interests. And this idea is perfectly exhibited in our learning design studio class because we are all able to create our own learning pathway that interests us. And I love being able to choose what I am learning this semester because I'm able to choose activities that will be beneficial for my teaching in a middle school setting. And in addition to the solvable challenge of blending formal and informal learning, there's also a challenge for improving digital literacy that people believe can be solved. In the past, it was thought that literacy encompassed only a person's ability to read and write, but it's now been expanded to encompassing understanding the use of digital tools and information. And the reason that this challenge is believed to be solvable is because universities have realized that when faculty members are better equipped, they will be able to instill digital literacy into their students. Finally, as an educator in the 21st century, it's important to be up to date on the developments in educational technology. Additionally, there have been several important developments in educational technology for higher education that are certainly worth mentioning. The developments that I'm about to mention were noted as being very likely to drive technology, planning, and decision making in the years to come, and they are expected to achieve worldwide adoption in 1 year or less. The first development that is expected to make large gains is the idea of bringing your own device to any type of work situation or learning situation. And in 2009, Intel stated, or they started noticing that employees who were bringing their own pieces of technology and they were connecting it to the corporate network. And since they implemented the Bring Your Own Technology policy, the company has reported up to 5 million hours of annual productivity gains. Higher education systems are also seeing this trend. And when companies and universities integrate the use of personal devices, it gives the idea that learning can happen anywhere at any time. Additionally, when students and employees are using their own devices, there is no wait time needed for them to become familiar with university company devices. I've seen many high schools implement the Bring Your Own Device into their teaching, and it has allowed students to be invested in active learning opportunities. In addition to universities developing a Bring Your Own Device initiative, places of learning are beginning to develop means to encourage the use of flipped classrooms. The development rearranges how time is spent both in and out of class in order to place more value on learning to the students. Instead of having a teacher use class time to give instruction, students are now being exposed to new information at home so that they can be involved in collaborative learning opportunities in class. And with the use of these flipped classrooms, instructors are finding that they can focus on increasing their interactions and connections with students in the classroom. And I believe flipping the classroom is especially beneficial to large lecture classes because students will be able to spend more time in class interacting with other students and interacting with the professor. It allows students to take ownership of their learning as well, and several universities are realizing the benefits of adopting flipped classrooms. And as a teacher of middle school aged students, I've found the benefits of using it as well. I'm pretty excited to see where that goes. After reading the Horizon Report, I realized that we have a lot of trends, challenges, and developments to look forward to in the years to come. And I think we're going to be seeing those put into place quite frequently.